what's up YouTube? Raven Gamer again, and I have a PlayStation 2, yes, a PlayStation 2 controller in front of me. I know that the majority of my videos seem like they're oriented toward Nintendo and Nintendo products, but I do own I used to own a PlayStation 2, and I'm not really a fanboy. I know it might seem like that. I don't consider myself one. I used to be when I was really young. I used to defend Nintendo to the death. But now I still love Nintendo, but now it's more about the games to me. If the games are fun and the system's got good games on it, then I'll buy the system. I own quite a few PlayStation 2 games, even though I don't have a PlayStation 2. Now this controller was given to me by a friend of mine. Yep, that's him down there. And I think he got it at Spencer's Gifts, and it's not made by Sony, obviously, so the screws in the back are just, normal Phillips. There are 6 Phillip head screws in the bottom of this that we have to remove and get out of here. Got the screws out, and we're going to take the top half apart and see what's underneath. Bottom piece of the plastic, it looks like there are 2 tiny Phillips that are holding these 2 keys in. They look like pressure switches. First thing we're going to do is we're going to set this aside, and then when we're ready to clean, then we'll take these out. Bottom half looks like it's only held on by four screws. There's one here, here. Oh, I guess that's 7 screws, and then there's one holding the circuit board down. We're going to remove all of those, and hopefully it'll let us pull this out. We got those screws out. There were a total of 8 of them, 2 in the circuit board and 6 in the surrounding plastic. These are attached to ribbons, ribbon cables. Just pull those out so they're out of their hole, and then lift up on the circuit board, and it should come out. There are a total of 3 screws in the circuit board. There was one here, and over here, and then there were 6 screws in the surrounding plastic we had to remove. These shoulder buttons are attached to the circuit board with ribbon cables. Just pull those out of their sockets, and then pull up on the controller, and it should lift right out. Well, pull up on the circuit board, and it should lift right out. There are it is a sectional circuit board, just like the Nintendo 64's controller I took apart. So there are actually 4 screws holding the circuit board on. There was one right here, 2 of them are black, 2 silver. There's one black one there, and then there's one black one over here that was holding the secondary circuit board down, and remove those. So now I'll just lift up on the circuit board, and it comes right out. And here's our circuit board. You can see that the cable is attached. It is a lot more complicated than the Nintendo 64's controller. I wouldn't say that that's necessarily a good thing, or it means it's more advanced. I think a lot of this is just unnecessary junk. Because the 64's controller had more buttons than this did. I know it seems like I'm being a fanboy again, but it had more buttons than this did. 1 analog stick, but the GameCube had 2, and it wasn't that messy. So, button covers the membranes. They're small membranes. Pull those off. Set those to the side. And then the buttons will just fall right out. And set those to the side. Right here, this is not a button. This is the actually the LED light that goes right here on the plastic. It's got these 2 little cups on the bottom of it. Obviously, they attach to the circuit board. I'm not quite sure what they do. It is not a button, so. Here's the bottom of the plastic, and we're just going to give this a cleaning. There's some glue in here that was apparently holding one of the sections of the lower control to get her down to the plastic. The other side doesn't have it, so I don't really know why that side was glued. I'm sure it's not a big deal, but we're going to clean this up with some window cleaner. We can rinse all this underwater and clean it up that way. Just, again, we want to make sure everything's completely dry before we put it back together. So now we're going to remove these other pieces of plastic that are covering the shoulder buttons. We already removed one of them. Just take that screw off. Then I'm not sure if these buttons come out. They're in there pretty good. It's not really necessary that we actually take them out, though. We can now clean underneath and around them. So I'm just going to leave those in there and clean those up. Now that we have those screws out of the shoulder buttons, we're just going to use window cleaner on this. I'm not really going to dunk this into water just because there are some screws left in here. I didn't see a point in taking those out. They don't seem to be doing much. I know I'm wrong on that, but it's not essential to take them out at least to clean this up. So what makes this difficult is all these tiny, tight little crevices that dust and dirt is hiding in, and it's making it really difficult to clean. But we're almost finished, so clean this up and then get it put back together. So we got it looking about as good as it's going to get. It's a lot cleaner because of the hue of the plastic. You couldn't really see the dirt and the grime, but it was definitely in there. And now we're just going to put it together and put the buttons back in. First thing we're going to start with, though, is this back piece of plastic that we took off those two plastic covers on. We're going to put those back in. Next, we are going to replace all of our buttons, and first thing we're going to do is drop the D-pad in. Doesn't really matter how that goes in. There's a thin piece of plastic goes right underneath of it. Then we replace our membrane. Okay, the LED light's going to go vertically. Go ahead and put the membranes back on to start and select. Next, we're going to replace the triangle. After the buttons are on, you can replace the membranes on the buttons. You just snap right into place. Now we're going to replace our actual circuit board. once we get the circuit board on, first thing we want to do is we just want to reattach some of the circuit board to the plastic just to hold everything in together while we, put the rest of it together. So. Now we have these two side pieces right here, and they go right here. They were at one point glued in. And we're going to reattach our shoulder buttons. Now if you look in here, there are two little notches that this board has to slide into. Same with the other side. Next we're going to put the screws that were around and are surrounding the circuit board back. I'm really not clear on what these screws are actually holding in, because nothing additional came out, so it is a little bit of a mystery to me. My favorite game that was on the PlayStation was, I played Scarface a lot. That was a really fun game, and I loved the Mega Man Anniversary Collection. It was all of the Mega Man that were released on Nintendo, 1 through 7, I believe, and I loved that game. It just did disappear after a while, though. I'm not sure where it went. I do have suspicions as to where it went because I didn't have a PlayStation when I bought it, so I bought it and I played it over at my friend's house. And I may have left it there, and at one point his house got broken into, and his DVDs and stuff were stolen. So that may have been one of the items that were thefted. I'm not sure. I'm just speculating on that, but I haven't seen it since. Lastly, all we need to do is reattach the two halves of plastic. We do need to put this back in its little socket, the cord. Now when you put the two halves together, there are these protrusions need to rest inside of, we'll call them pockets just for now, but these little pockets, and that gives the button its springiness. So we're going to start off by inserting those just so it lines up correctly. Okay, the controller was a little tricky to get together and get all of the notches and the male and female pieces inside to line up correctly, but we did. I'm holding it together so it doesn't come back apart. So we're just going to put our initial screws back in and we're done. So there we go. Controller does look a lot better. I did forget to clean these two analog sticks, so I'm going to get those before I'm finished. But other than that, I'm going to give this cable a cleaning real quick, and just so you guys, because I know you guys haven't seen it, that's the end of it. It's kind of outdated, kind of large. Just what I didn't like too much about the PS controller was the size of its plugs. But anyway. So I guess you guys can thank my friend for this video, since he supplied the controller. Was kind of running short on equipment to tear down. I've teared down a good majority of what I had. what I had ready. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you've enjoyed it, please hit the like button and please subscribe to my videos so you can see the new ones. And I am the Raven Gamer.